going, people? Hope y'all are having a good day. It is freezing here for Kentucky. It's a high of 30 today. And when it stays that, it's kind of unusual. It usually hovers around the 40s in Kentucky. And winters aren't too terribly bad. We have cold snaps and things like that. They're talking about next week, after Martin Luther King Day on that Tuesday. We're talking about a high of only 25. Oh man. And lows down into the teens. I saw a number of 15. And that is unusually cold. That is brutally cold for here. It really is. I hate traffic lights. But they're a necessity. Yeah, I know most of y'all know I'm a firearms enthusiast, a supporter of the Second Amendment. And I just heard something recently that New York legislature has passed some draconian new laws for that state. And one of the measures they passed was a magazine ban. And this is clever. I hadn't heard of this one before. They banned all magazines that are more than 7 rounds. And except for certain pistols, some small carry guns, like an LCP or something like that, or LC9. And most, what they're going after is the assault bans, so-called assault guns, which aren't assault weapons at all. They're semi-automatic rifles. They give it an evil name, and therefore it's more evil, right? But anyway, they realize they can't outright ban the gun because I think that treads a little too close to maybe Second Amendment infringement. But they went after the magazines in such a way that it renders your gun useless. So what they did was they banned any magazine that's over 7 rounds. And I gotta hand it to them. I don't think much of politicians and legislators, but that's a clever maneuver, because they ordinarily don't come up with anything that clever, because I've never seen anything smaller. Well, there's 5 round, but the vast majority of magazines are 10 and 20 round, 10, 20, and 30 round. You can get 5 round magazines. So that's basically what they've done. There's no such thing as a 7 round magazine. So you're going to be stuck with 5 rounders. And that's just diabolical. It really is. Anyway, they have the delusion that criminals are going to pay attention to the law. They already banned murder, and people ignore that. They've already banned heroin, and plenty of people use that. They've already banned all other kinds of illicit drugs, and as we all know, it's all readily available. I mean, if you got the hankering, you could find something, no problem. Score a bag of weed before lunchtime. And it's just ridiculous. They think more and more laws and more legislations going to somehow make all the crime go away. And they keep saying they're going to prevent what happened in Sandy Hook. You cannot prevent what happened in Sandy Hook, especially by something as narrow-minded and simple as simply going after the guns, which does nothing but affect the people that don't do bad things in the first place. So, out of a nation of 330 million people, because of a literal handful of psychopaths, we all got to pay for it. It's just ludicrous. And then they say there's nothing being said about health care for mental health care or anything like that. A lot of Second Amendment advocates would disagree with me, but I do agree with more stringent criteria for being able to buy a gun and storing your gun. It should be absolutely mandatory that you have secure storage for your firearms, a safe of some kind, a steel cabinet of some kind, and if you got somebody in your house that's having mental health issues, you should be required to get rid of everything just to be safe. And if something happens with one of your unsecured guns, and somebody goes on a shooting spree, I think the penalty should be severe. But anyway, I don't know. We've seen how well bans work, and the idea that banning anything is going to make anything better. It's just ludicrous. It's ridiculous. And people in Europe, especially the UK, oh, we only had 30 people die by guns. That's true. You only had 30 people die by guns. You only have 62 million people in your country between Wales and Scotland. Or is it just Great Britain and Wales? Whatever. 62 million people. But your violent crime index is way above ours. It's way above most of Europe, as a matter of fact. So it's nothing to be, hooting about. You're more likely to be a victim of violent crime in the UK than you are here. And I don't know. Older I get, the more disgusted I get. Things that used to result in a stern talking to and send you home will now earn you a ride in a police car and to jail. We lock up more people than anybody else. Got millions in jail. It's ridiculous. But the causes of crime, especially the biggest cause of crime in my opinion is come on, policeman, one of our fine boys in blue, is the so-called war on drugs, which has been a resounding failure. Absorbs something like $30 billion every year of tax money. And most of the people in jail are sitting there because of possession laws. And again, if people want to get high, they're going to do it. The same way they banned alcohol, created a crime wave across this country that was so bad they had to go ahead and repeal the 28th, I believe the 28th Amendment. And at the same time, banned machine guns. That went hand in hand, right? The gangsters had machine guns. So they created the NFA Act. And now, you have to be a wealthy person in order to own a machine gun now. Yeah, so they would take some steps toward decriminalizing and allowing the sale and possession of certain types of illicit, which are currently illicit drugs, and then they could dispense them and tax them appropriately, and then take that money and use that toward education and treatment. And honestly believe that a lot of people gravitate toward illegal drugs because they're illegal. It's exciting to do something that's forbidden. As soon as somebody realizes they can't have it, then what do they want? They want it. We were at Dick's Sporting Goods right after the Sandy Hook incident, and there was a woman in there that had 2 boxes of ammunition that she was going to purchase. One Remington 223 for an AR-15 and a box of 45 ACP. And she didn't own a freaking firearm. She didn't even own a gun. And I have no idea why she was buying this stuff. And she was standing there talking to my friend and I about wanting to buy a gun. She says she never owned one and never wanted one until she heard that there was possibly going to be a ban and she would go to get guns, she thought. So here she was looking at guns and buying bullets she didn't need for guns she didn't own. Most bizarre thing, and I think that applies to illicit drugs. It's just, they ignore everything else and go after one tool, and for whatever reason they're demonizing the assault weapon, which isn't an assault weapon, and ignoring everything else. Anyway, this is getting kind of long for me, so I'm going to call it a day and wish you all a wonderful day, and I hope your day has been wonderful. And y'all stay safe. And if you have any opinions about the Second Amendment or anything that affects your life, contact your legislators. Let them know how you feel. I think if doing nothing is worse than anything. If you have a voice, use it. And the president's talking about executive orders because he knows he's got no backing or not enough backing to get everything he wants done. So he can modify existing laws and make them as draconian as possible. So anyway, do your part as an American. Contact your legislature, your representatives, and let them know how you feel, one way or the other. I don't care if you're pro or against, but let them know how you feel. And I'll talk to you guys later. Everybody be safe.